Hello everyone, welcome to the part B numericals of physics chapter 2 work, energy and power. So in this part we are going to focus on the numericals of part B, that is different forms of energy. You remember the formula which we studied in this part? We studied the formula for potential energy, which is mgh. The SI unit of potential energy is of course joule. We studied the formula for kinetic energy, that is half mv square. We studied regarding the relationship between momentum and kinetic energy. So P is equal to under root of 2mk, right? So this is one of the relationship which we studied. Okay. Also we studied work energy theorem. So work energy theorem says that the work done uh, in changing the speed of a body is equal to half mv square minus half mu square. That is final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. That is the work done by a force which is applied on a moving body in changing the kinetic energy of a body. That is work energy theorem. So these all things we studied in this particular part B, and let's check some numericals based on the same formulae, same part. Okay, the first one, a body of mass 5 kg, mass is equal to 5 kg, is taken from a height of 5 meter to 10 meter. So h1 is 5 meter and h2 is 10 meter. Find the increase in its potential energy. Increase in potential energy is equal to final potential energy minus initial potential energy. Now the final height is this, initial height was this. So mgh2 minus mgh1, that is okay, let's take mg out common. So h2 minus h1, that is 10 minus 5. M is 5. The value of g is given as 10 meter per second square. So 5 into 10 multiplied by 5. So 25 tens are, that is 250 joule. 250 joule is its increase in potential energy. Right? Next question. A body of mass 1 kg. A body of mass 1 kg falls from a height of 5 meter. Okay, so mass is 1 kg, height is 5 meter. How much energy does it possess at any instant? Okay, so we have been given g as 9.8 meter per second square. So energy, this is very important, energy possessed by the body at any instant, at any instant, is equal to its potential energy at highest point, highest position. Okay, so what is the potential energy at highest position? mgh. Mass is 1, g is 9.8, I'm sorry, g is 9.8 and height is 5. So 9.8 multiplied by 5, so it comes to 49 joule. So that is the energy possessed by the body at any instant, which is equal to its potential energy at the highest position, which is mgh. Right? Next question. Okay, this is very interesting. 500 liters of water is raised from first floor of a house at a height of 4 meter to its third floor at a height of 12 meter. So the height, initial height is 4 meter, final height is 12 meter. and the volume of water which is raised is 500 liter. Okay, density of water, density is 1 kg per liter, therefore mass is equal to volume into density, which is 500 into 1, which is 500 kg. Okay, so we have got the mass, we have got the heights. We can take, we have been given the value of G as 10 Newton per kg. Cool. Okay, so what do you have to find? State whether the potential energy of the water will decrease or increase. Of course it will increase. We are taking it as at a higher position. Find the decrease or increase in potential energy. So the increase in potential energy is equal to mgh2 minus mgh1. Simple. Mg comes out common, h2 minus h1 remains inside. M is 500, G is 10, h2 minus h1 is 12 minus 4. So 500 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 8, that is 500 multiplied by 80, that is 40,000. Increase in potential energy is 40,000 joule, or they have written it as 4 into 10 raised to 4 joule. That's the same thing. You can also write it as 4 kilojoule. Same thing, no problem, right? So very simple question. Let's go ahead. There's a figure. Oh yeah, I've seen the figure. Can we copy this figure somewhere? No, we can't because it's stuck there. Let's take this up. Okay, a block of mass 30 kg. Okay, let me just can I draw this figure for you? Yeah, because that's impossible to see. So we can understand the figure, but we have to draw it. So there is this inclined plane, okay? Slope. What they are talking about is a slope like this, okay? And that's the vertical height, and that's the horizontal distance. This is 90 degree. Okay, so the vertical height is 1.5 meter, 1.5 meter. Okay, and the length of this inclined plane is not visible. It's 3 meter or 2 meter. Let me check. Hey, we can also check it in our textbook, right? So there is no issue. Let me check in the textbook. Yes, so it is 3 meter. Great, 200 Newton, 1.5 meter, position A and B. Cool. So this goes here. Okay, so this is 3 meter and the block is over here, and the final position position of the block is over here. This is position A, this is position B. At 200 Newton of force is applied on the block. Force of 200 Newton to push the block from position A to position B 3 meter up the inclined plane, and the height at which the block reaches after some time is 1.5 meter above the ground level. Okay, so this is the scenario. एक ब्लॉक है पोजीशन ए पे जिसको 200 न्यूटन फोर्स अप्लाई करके पोजीशन ए से पोजीशन बी हम लोग पहुंचा रहे हैं. 3 मीटर इंक्लाइंड प्लेन की लेंथ है, 1.5 मीटर हाइट अबव द ग्राउंड लेवल है किसकी, ब्लॉक बी के पोजीशन की. Okay, 200 Newton parallel to the slope from initial position A to the final position B. Calculate the work done by the force in moving the block from A to B. ब्लॉक को A to B लेके जाने के लिए कितना वर्क डन करना पड़ेगा? The work done by the force in moving the block from A to B. Okay. Now see the first answer. Work done is equal to force multiplied by displacement. Force is 200 Newton. Displacement is 3 meters. So 600 joule of work has to be done. We got the answer. I'm sorry. We got the answer. Cool. Second one. The potential energy gained by the block. Okay, the value of G is not given. I'll take it as 10. Okay. Potential energy gained by the block when it moves from position A to position B. Now position A is ground level. So there is no potential energy at position B. Position A. At position B, the potential energy will become mgh. M, the mass of the block, is 30 kg. G is 10 and height is 1.5. So that is basically 30 into 15, which is 450 joule. This is the potential energy. What is the potential energy? 450 joule. Okay, now just see what is the work done by the force in moving the block from A to B. 600 joules. And what is the potential energy gained by the block? 450 joule. So where is this 150 joule of energy which we have supplied to the block in moving from point A to point B is going? So the extra 150 joules of energy spent by us in pushing the block from A to B. The extra 150 joule of energy spent by us in pushing the block from A to B is utilized in overcoming the friction between the block and the surface of inclined plane or the slope. So that 150 joule of energy, देखो क्या होता है इसमें, ब्लॉक को हमने A से B पुश किया, ब्लॉक तो ऊपर चला गया, ठीक है, लेकिन ब्लॉक को ऊपर पुश करने के लिए हमने कितनी एनर्जी स्पेंड की? 600 जूल। और ब्लॉक की पोटेंशियल एनर्जी 600 जूल हो जानी चाहिए, क्योंकि हमने जितनी एनर्जी स्पेंड की वो पूरी की पूरी ब्लॉक की पोटेंशियल एनर्जी बननी चाहिए, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ। ब्लॉक की पोटेंशियल एनर्जी हमने कैलकुलेट की तो वाई 450 जूल, तो वो 150 जूल कहाँ गया? तो दैट 150 जूल वाज वेस्टेड इन ओवरकमिंग द फोर्स ऑफ फ्रिक्शन बिटवीन द ब्लॉक एंड द सरफेस ऑफ स्लोप। वो फ्रिक्शन को ओवरकम करने में स्पेंड हो गया, राइट? So this concept must be clear now. Okay, let's go to the next question. इसको ऊपर ले जाते हैं. Okay. In a dam, water falls at a rate of 1000 kg per second from a height of 100 meter. Okay. So rate of fall of water is equal to 1000 kg per second. एक सेकेंड में 1000 kg पानी नीचे गिर रहा है. हाइट कितनी है? 100 मीटर. जी की वैल्यू भी दी है 9.8 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. ठीक है. कैलकुलेट द इनिशियल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी ऑफ द वाटर. इनिशियल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इज इक्वल टू mgh. अब देखो, मास है 1000 kg, एक सेकंड में 1000 kg गिर रहा है. जी कितना है? 9.8 और हाइट कितना है? 100. तो ये हो जाएगा 9.8 into 10 raised to 5 joule. 9.8 into 10 raised to 5 joule. सही है ना, इनिशियल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. Assuming that 60% of the energy of falling water is converted into electrical energy, calculate the power generated. बहुत बढ़िया क्वेश्चन. ओके, तो इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी कितनी जनरेट हुई? इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी जनरेटेड, electrical energy generated will be 60% of energy of falling water. ठीक है, that is 60 upon 100 multiplied by 9.8 into 10 raised to 5. 0 0 कट और ये हो जाएगा 6 इंटू 9.8 इंटू 10 रेज टू 4 जूल. इतनी एनर्जी इलेक्ट्रिकल एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. तो हमें क्या ढूंढना है? हमें ढूंढना है पावर. सो व्हाट इज द पावर? पावर जनरेटेड. पावर जनरेटेड विल बी एनर्जी अपॉन टाइम. एनर्जी क्या है? 6 इंटू 9.8 इंटू 10 रेज टू 4. और ये सब कितने टाइम में हो रहा है? 1 सेकेंड में हो रहा है. तो इसको कैलकुलेट करने से पावर आ जाएगा. लेट्स सी कितना आता है. सो द पावर जनरेटेड इज 58.8 into 10 raised to 4 watt or 5.88 into 10 raised to 5 watt. So that is the power generated and electrical energy generated. Both answers are confirmed over here. I'm sorry, the initial potential energy and the power generated. Both answers are confirmed over here. Let's go to the next question. I've already solved this next question because there was some technical glitch in recording. So I'm just going to explain you how I have solved it. A truck driver loads some oil into truck by lifting them directly. Each drum has a mass of 80 kg and the platform of the truck is at a height of 0.8 meter above the ground. So mass of each drum is 80 kg, height of the platform above the ground is 0.8 meter, and g, acceleration due to gravity, here given in this page, is 10 meter per second square. What we need to find is the force required to lift a drum into the truck, that is the weight. So weight is equal to m into g, that is 80 into 10, that is 800 Newton. And also how much energy is used up in lifting a drum. So energy used in lifting the drum is equal to potential energy stored in it, which is equal to mgh. So mg is 800 into h is 0.8, that is 80 into 8 or 640 joule. After the truck is loaded, the truck driver drives off. List the major energy changes that take place in the moving truck. So when he starts the truck, the chemical energy of fuel gets converted into heat energy. This heat energy drives the engine, and when the engine moves, it gets converted into mechanical energy, and this mechanical energy is converted into kinetic energy when the truck moves. So chemical energy to heat energy to mechanical energy to kinetic energy. That is the energy changes after the truck is loaded and the driver drives off. And one more question, the driver stops the truck at the factory gate. What happens to the kinetic energy of the truck? Now when the truck was moving, the truck had kinetic energy. This kinetic energy changed into sound and heat energy, not potential energy, because truck is not going higher above its position. Truck is on a flat road. They have not mentioned the truck is climbing something, some mountain or some hill. No. So the kinetic energy of the truck gets converted into heat and sound. Why heat and sound? Because whenever any vehicle stops, there is a sound, and there is heat produced due to friction between the road and the wheels of the vehicle. That's why the kinetic energy gets converted into heat and sound. So that's how you solve this question number 6, right? Let's go to the next question. Calculate the kinetic energy of a body of mass 2 kg moving with a speed of 10 meter per second. So kinetic energy is formula is half mv square. Half into mass, which is 2 kg, speed, which is 10 meter per second. So 10 square is 100, 2 and 2 gets cancelled, so kinetic energy is 100 joules. Eighth question, how fast should a man weighing 600 joule 600 Newton run so that his kinetic energy is 750 joule? How fast should a man weighing 600 Newton run so that his kinetic energy is 700 joule? Now the weight is m into g, which is 600 Newton. The value of g they have given here 10, and kinetic energy is 750 joule. Now we know that weight is equal to mass into m into g. So mass is equal to W upon G, which is 60 kg. So from weight, we got the mass. Now we can find the value of velocity using the formula of kinetic energy. We know the kinetic energy is 750 joule is equal to half into mass is 60 kg into V square. If we solve this, simplify it, we get the velocity as 5 meter per second. That was question number 8. Let's move to question number 9. Okay, how is the kinetic energy of a moving cart affected if its mass is doubled? See, the initial mass is m. The final mass becomes 2m. The initial kinetic energy when the mass was m is half mv square. The final kinetic energy becomes, if you put the value of mass as 2m, it becomes mv square. So what is the change in the kinetic energy? The change in kinetic energy is that it becomes double of itself, right? Now they are giving you one more case. What if the velocity is reduced to 1/3 of the initial velocity? So velocity is v initially, and then it becomes v by 3, 1/3 of its initial value. So kinetic energy is half mv square, or half m into v by 3 the whole square. That is half mv square into mv square by 18, because 3 square is 9, 9 2 is 18. Okay, so when the velocity is reduced to 1/3 of its original value, kinetic energy becomes 1/9 of its original value. If you find the ratio of kinetic energy of initial kinetic energy and final kinetic energy, you get half mv square upon mv square by 18. Now here 2 will come down, 18 will go up, so you will get 18 by 2, or 9 is to 1. Here whatever the answer they have got, the relationship, they have written one kinetic energy in terms of other, but you can also mention or compare two kinetic energy by stating their ratios. So the initial kinetic energy is 9 times the final kinetic energy. That could also be the correct answer. Let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next question. A truck weighing 5 into 10 raised to 3 kgf and a cart weighing 500 kgf are moving with the same speed. Compare their kinetic energies. Okay, so kinetic energy of truck upon kinetic energy of cart, which is half capital M V square upon half small m V square. V square are same because they are moving with the same speed, so it will get cut. Half will cut. So what is the mass of the truck? 5 into 10 raised to 3, and that's the weight, and this is 500. So 5000 upon 500, that is 10 upon 1. So the ratio of their kinetic energy is 10 to 1. Question number 11. For the same kinetic energy of a body, what should be the change in its velocity if its mass is increased 4 times? Suppose a body has mass m and velocity is v. So its kinetic energy becomes half mv square. Okay, suppose the mass becomes 4 times and the kinetic energy is the same, still same, half mv square. So what should be the velocity in this case? Okay, so let the new velocity be x. Okay, let's find its value. So kinetic energy is half mv square, which is equal to half into 4m into x square. Half will cut from both the sides, m will cut from both the sides, so we can write it as x square as v square by 4, or x is equal to v by 2. X is equal to v by 2. So you can say that if okay, so x becomes v by 2, means the final velocity, or the new velocity for which the kinetic energy remains the same, is half the original velocity. So if the mass becomes 4 times, right, if the mass becomes 4 times and the velocity becomes half of its original value, then also the value of kinetic energy will remain unchanged. So these are the initial values, and these are the final values. The mass initially was m, finally was 4m. The velocity initially was v, finally we don't know. The kinetic energy initially and finally was the same. So we compared the kinetic energies and we found that x, the value of x, that is final velocity, is half the original velocity. Next question. A bullet of mass 5 grams, mass is equal to 5 grams, travels with a speed of 500 meter per second. Travels with a speed of initial velocity 500 meter per second. If it penetrates a fixed target which offers a constant resistive force of 1000 Newton to the motion of the bullet. Okay, so there is a force, resistive force on the bullet, which is 1000 Newton, which is offered by a fixed target to the bullet. Find the initial kinetic energy of the bullet. Okay, so kinetic energy initial is equal to half mv square, that is half, into mass is 5 grams, so 5 upon 1000, I have to convert it into kg, right, multiplied by v square, or initial, that is u square in this case, so 500 multiplied by 500, so 500 2s are, right, 2 250s are, that's it. So this will be 1250 divided by 2. So this will be 625. 625, no, 600 and, yeah, it will be 625. 625 joules. This is the initial kinetic energy. Cool. The distance through which the bullet has penetrated before coming to rest. So we have to find the distance, and we know that finally the bullet comes to rest. That is, its final velocity is 0 meter per second. Now we know that a resistive force of 500 Newton is exerted on the bullet, right? So we know that force is equal to mass into acceleration. What is the force? 1000 Newton. What is the mass? 5 upon 1000. That is in grams. That's why 5 upon 1000 kg multiplied by A. So acceleration is 1000 into 1000 upon 5, right? This 1005 goes there, that side. So this is 200. So acceleration is 2 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second square. This is the acceleration, or actually the retardation. Why retardation? Because the speed of the bullet finally becomes 0. This is the fixed target is offering a resistive force. That's why this is a retardation. Okay, so now we can find the value of S by using this relationship. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. What is v square? Final velocity 0. What is initial velocity square? 500 square. What is 2? 2. What is A acceleration? Minus 2 into 10 raised to 5. What is S? We don't know. So S is equal to minus 25 and then 4 zeros upon minus 4 into 10 raised to 5. Okay, so this will become minus will get cut. 25 by 4, 25 by 2 is 12.5, and 12.5 12.5 divided by 2 is 6.25. 6.25. So this will become 6.25, and there are 4 zeros and 5 zeros, into 10 raised to minus 1, or you can say 0.625 meter or 62.5 centimeter. Now this is what I can get at the best, 62.5 centimeter. So the bullet has penetrated a distance of 62.5 centimeter before coming to rest. That is what I'm getting. Let's see what have they got. Is there any mistake or anything? I don't know. 6.25 into 10 raised to minus 1, 0.625. Yeah, it looks perfect. It looks okay. It looks okay to me. 62.5. Okay, and the speed with which the bullet emerges out of the target, if the target is of thickness 0.5 meter. Okay, now see, the initial velocity of the bullet is 500 meter per second. Now the acceleration which the target offers is minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second square. That is the retardation with which the bullet will face when it enters the target. And the final velocity we have to find, and the distance we know, that is 0.5 meter. So again we'll use this formula, v square minus u square is equal to 2as, and we'll get what is v, we don't know actually. Minus 500 square is equal to 2as, that is 2 into minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 into s, that is 0.5. Okay, so if we solve this, that is minus 25,000, no, 2,50,000 is equal to 0.5 into 2 is 1. So this will be minus 2 into 10 raised to 5. Minus will cut, and here there is v. Hey, minus will not cut. This will be minus, and this will go that side. So v is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2.5 into 10 raised to 5 minus 2 into 10 raised to 5. Okay, so 10 raised to 5 will come out common, and it will be 0.5 into 10 raised to 5, which is a huge velocity, man. I don't think it's correct. I don't think it is correct. 0.5 meter. I'm not sure. I have to do this. Let's check the first answer first. Hey, 0.625 meter is correct. 625 joule is correct. Here we had made some mistake. That's why this answer is not coming correct. We can actually check this answer. So this was correct, absolutely correct. The initial kinetic energy was correct. Let's check about the the last answer. We can take a little bit more space over here and check. Okay, so the initial velocity of the bullet is 500 meter per second, and the acceleration offered by the target is minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second square, and the displacement is 0.5 meter. We have to find the final velocity. Okay, let's do it over here. V square. Okay, so V square is 0. V square is not 0. V square is unknown. See what I'm writing. So V square minus U square is 500 square is equal to 2as. 2 multiplied by a acceleration, which is minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 into s, 0.5. Okay, so v square minus 250000 2,50,000 is equal to minus 2 into 10 raised to 5. So this will become 2.5 into 2.5 into 10 raised to 5 minus 2 into 10 raised to 5, which is 0.5. Hey, I'm again getting the same answer, which is not possible. There is some mistake which I'm making over here. The speed with which the bullet emerges out of the target, the acceleration is same. We got the correct answer with the help of that acceleration itself. Thickness s is the same. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. The equation is same. So why we are not getting the same answer? Let's check it in the solved examples itself. Why we are waiting? Yes, the final. Okay. Energy spent against. Oh, so they have used this relationship that the energy with bullet initially was 625 joule and it spent 500 joules of energy, so it had 125 joules of energy left with it, and that energy they used to find the final velocity of the bullet. Very smart, but I don't see why my method is wrong. Maybe I'll try again and let you know. Okay, the exercise is not finishing, man. That's a sad part. Okay, let's go to the next question. And the relationship k is equal to p square by 2m. Yes, we know this relation. Okay, question number 13. Calculate the kinetic energy of a body of mass 0.1 kg. Kinetic energy, we have to calculate. The mass is 0.1 kg and momentum of 20 kg per meter, 20 kg meter per second. Momentum P, 20 kg meter per second. So we know that momentum is equal to under root of 2mk, right? So p square is equal to 2mk, or k is equal to p square by 2m, which is 20 square by 2 into 0.1. Now if you just calculate this, you'll get the value of k. Okay, and the k's value should come out to 2 into 10 raised to 3 joule. Just calculate and find your answer. Okay, next. A ball of mass 10 grams falls from a height of 5 meter. It rebounds from the ground to a height of 4 meter. Find the initial potential energy of the ball. Okay, let's find the initial potential energy, which is mgh. So mass is 10 grams, 10 upon 1000, we'll take it in kg. G is 9.8 as given in the question over here. H is 4 meter. So 0, 0 cuts. And so So this 4 also gets cut with this, 25. So initial, is it 10 grams for sure? I'm not even sure about the question now because we are getting the potential energies answer as 9.8 upon 25. What kind of bullshit potential energy is this, man? Okay, I'm sorry for that. Let me just check the question all over again in our textbook. Hey, it is 10 gram. 0.0, yeah, oh my, mgh, yeah, that's what I was doing. mgh, yes, it will come with this. I was just getting worked up for nothing. 0.49 joules. Okay, second part. The kinetic energy of the ball just before striking the ground. That is also 0.49 joule. You will ask me how? The whole potential energy of the ball at the highest position gets converted into kinetic energy. So kinetic energy of the ball just before striking the ground is equal to the potential energy at the highest point in the ball. The kinetic energy of the ball after striking the ground. Okay, after striking the ground, what is the kinetic energy? See, after striking the ground, the ball goes to a height of 4 meter. Okay, so kinetic energy after striking the ground is equal to potential energy of ball at 4 meter, because that kinetic energy takes the ball at 4 meter height. Okay, so that is mgh, which is 10 upon 1000 into 9.8 into h. H is is the height, and that is 4 meter. Hey, how come it is again coming 9.8 upon 25, man? It was at 5 meter. One second. My answer is wrong over here. One second, my answer is wrong over here. Wait. My answer is not wrong. My assumption is wrong. I'll show you which assumption I'm talking about. This thing. Actually, it should be 5. So this will not get cut. Wait. Let me write everything all over again. Okay. So the initial potential energy is 10 upon 1000 multiplied by 9.8 multiplied by 5. 0 cuts, and this cuts with 120. So 2, 4.9 za, 2 10 za, that is 0.49. That is the correct working. Okay, so this is correct, this is correct. Okay, here it will be 9.8 upon 25. So this is the kinetic energy after striking the ground. You will get the answer if you multiply 4 by 4. So that is 9.84 is 19.6 into 2. 19.6 into 2 upon 100. So that is around 28.2 something. Yeah, 29.2 upon 100. 29 point, yeah, because that's 29.2 upon 100, correct. So 0.292 joules is the answer. And the loss in kinetic energy on striking the ground, so 0.292 and 0.49, what is the difference? Around approximately 0.2 joules is the difference. Hey, the answers are not given, so you should check the textbook. These answers only for the first and second ones. C and D's answer is not given. Please check the answer and match it with my method. If anything wrong, please correct it. The last question, I can't wait to finish it, man. This was just too much. Okay, a spring kept A spring kept compressed by a toy car of mass 150 kg. On releasing the cart, it moves with a speed of 0.2 meter per second. Conversion of energy. Calculate the potential energy elastic of the spring. See, potential energy of spring is equal to kinetic energy of toy cart or toy car, which is half mv square, that is half into 150 kg. Hey, that's 150 gram. Yeah, otherwise it's not toy. Okay, so 150 upon 1000 multiplied by v square, 0.2 into 0.2. Okay, so 0 will cut, 2 0.1s are, so this will be 15 into 0.02 upon 100. So this will become 15 2s are 30. So 0.3 upon 100, or 0.3 into 10 raised to minus 2 joule, or 3 into 10 raised to minus 3 joule. That's perfect, right? So whatever potential energy was there in the toy cart spring got transferred to the toy cart, and then toy cart started moving with a speed. So we found that potential energy of the spring with this relationship. So mostly all the questions were done properly, all of them. Just you have to check few of them. And this one, yeah, this 12th one, in the third part of the 12th one I had some issues, so I wanted to get it with the help of equation of motion. I was not able to get, and I've got it earlier, somehow sometimes it doesn't happen. Okay, but other than that, all the questions were solved by me properly with justification. I hope you understood the part B numericals. That was part B numericals. So please finish it, and I'm going to finish this chapter in the next class. All right, so I'll see you later. Bye bye.